Clone Wars Episode 1 is about Yoda. The Clone Wars, they were produced even by the Lucas himself, not by the Disney, and they are pretty right now. They are pretty old TV show, very long. We have 7 seasons. Almost all of them are long in aspect of episodes, because we have 22 episodes for one season usually, but they are short in length. They are usually 22-24 minutes. And first Clone Wars movie is about Yoda. So I would say in the beginning that Clone Wars, even though the story by those 7 episodes is usually about war and about war between separatists and the Republic, and the Grand War is called in the Star Wars universe Clone Wars. So like a multiple wars on multiply fronts. But I think that the worst thing about this rather good TV show is that often the story of each episode is not connected to other episodes. So they are completely random. Sometimes you have, for example, 3 episodes, 4 episodes even about the same arc, but they are not connected even in the series. So, for example, like a hero movies that you have, no, they were all connected to each other, but usually movies from one series were connected the best to each other, and there was the second series and the third and so on. And unfortunately, in a Clone Wars universe, uh, each of these episodes is very different from another. And right now we have the first episode about Yoda, the master of the Jedi, and probably the most powerful from the Jedi Order living in this universe. And we have the villain. We have the villain, which is Asajj Ventress. Asajj Ventress is an apprentice of Count Dooku. Count Dooku is a Sith Lord, and I would say that Asajj Ventress is, even though she's bold, she's rather like a vulture. She looks like a vulture. She's quite an interesting villain. She's quite interesting antagonist, and I would say that because so far I watched 5 seasons, she's in this universe. She's better portrayed than Yoda himself. So Yoda is for me too bleak, too lukewarm, and too goofy. The Yoda, as we can remember him from the original first Star Wars trilogy, he was goofy in Empire Strikes Back, but it was he was goofy only in to the certain degree, to the certain level. And he was goofy because like a Socrates, like a philosopher Socrates from Athens. He was goofy because he wanted to show his opponent, or his someone which he had an argument, that his arguments or his opponent arguments are invalid. So he put this mask of goofiness to show his opponent that the truth is much more complicated than it seems. And so in Empire Strikes Back, we see Yoda as this goofy character, this goofy creature, but it's only because he wants to challenge Luke Skywalker, to test him if he's able to be a Jedi Knight, not because this is his nature. And in Clone Wars, in this first episode, we see that Yoda, for example, he teaches his clones, because the plot is about Yoda trying to negotiate Toidaria, one of the planets of the galaxy, to join the Republic. Separatists shoot his ship on this planet, and he must contest with Asajj Ventress, and those who will win in this contest of wills of fight will have Toidaria join, because Toidaria was neutral. And we see that the Yoda is powerful, but he's powerful in a goofy, like elf, like, I don't know English word for hochlik. Um, he's like this little elves, or little companions of warlocks and mages. So he's not very serious. Um, he's not very serious. He's very goofy in a way, like he's smiling, laughing. Very. He walks very fast. He jumps almost all the time, and this is not the Yoda we know from the movies, because the Yoda from the movies is rather serious Jedi Master and the most powerful being in the universe, except few exceptions. And in this movie, we see that as a Jedi Master, he cares about his clones. He shows them that for him, they are not only they are not clone soldiers. They are not slaves or indentured servicemen to the Jedi Order. But his demeanor is still very goofy, because, for example, when we saw the fight between Yoda and Count Dooku in the movie Attack of the Clones, he was jumping very fast. He was moving very fast. He was even there was even a little laughing, but it was still very serious. And in the TV show, I see that Yoda is almost like some pet, some interesting pet with big eyes, created for the children. And this is not, I think, the good way to show this most powerful being, because, for example, we see in this movie a lot of Anakin Skywalker, and Anakin Skywalker will be a future Darth Vader, very famous character from the Star Wars universe. And because of Ahsoka Tano, his apprentice, and uh, Anakin Skywalker is a very well developed character in this Clone Wars theme. He's much more interested that if we only watched, for example, Phantom Menace, Attack of the Clones, Revenge of the Sith. In Clone Wars, his character, because of the Ahsoka, because of the Obi-Wan Kenobi, because of the Ahsoka Tano, his character is developed in many ways. Not only in this way, when we see, yes, in Phantom Menace, this little kid will be powerful Jedi, but he will be also Darth Vader. At an Attack of the Clones, we see that he's a pissed off teenager. He hates his master Obi-Wan, and he will soon be a Darth Vader. And in Revenge of the Sith, we see that it has been done. But in Clone Wars, we see that this transmission, this completely changed character, that his path was not so simple and not so obvious. So when I watch Clone Wars, I see that Anakin Skywalker is not this person that I see, oh, okay, he is evil, he is bad, he's moving into the dark side, and he will be Emperor Palpatine, right hand Darth Vader. No, in Clone Wars it's not so obvious. And it is interesting to show his relations, for example, and especially to Ahsoka Tano, to Obi-Wan Kenobi, to other characters. He's usually more brutal than other Jedi knights, but his brutality is rather practical, and not because of the spite of creating an evil or bad things. It's usually very practical. So, for example, I offer you a chance of forgiveness or a chance of surrender, but if you are stubborn enough to not listen to me, I will kill you. And other Jedi Knights are much more into this patience category, into this because Anakin is not so much impatient, but he's very down to earth Jedi Knight. He likes actions and he's very concrete in his actions. And but I think it's still very good written character, maybe even the best after Ahsoka Tano, second one after Ahsoka. And Yoda is, I think, almost the worst because and of course Clone Wars is a animated TV show, so it was probably produced also for the children. But I must tell you that in 1994, when Pulp Fiction was published, I I had 10 years old. I was 10 years old, and even though the film for me and my brother, when we watched it together, he was 8, he was 2 years younger even. The movie was too complicated to understand when I was 10. I still knew that this movie was good, and it is still good to this day. So even as a 10 years old kid, I know that because I watched, for example, Alien 1 and Aliens when I was maybe 12. And these are the movies for adult audiences. And I still, even though maybe I didn't understand everything, I knew that these movies were very good. And when I watched the third installment, I knew that this was not a very good movie. So even kids, even though they are kids, they live in their own world of being a kid. I think they can still they don't have to understand everything, but they will understand if some character is well written, is charismatic, and I'm interested in what will happen to him, and to the character which is completely even not interesting, but mediocre, yes, mediocre, in the middle. And yes, so I think that Yoda, because Yoda also have not many screen time. It's also the problem that he unfortunately is not a hero of many of the episodes, and so we see him still like a goofy character which kills almost every clone, droid and ship without many fuss, but it is done very fast when he's laughing, jumping, spinning, doing this crazy goofy stuff, and for me it was not a good example of the most powerful being in the galaxy. And on the other hand, Asajj Ventress, as a very aggressive, I have always seen her, even to this day, as this obnoxious, aggressive, bold, rather cruel character. But as a second tier, as a supporting character of this, I don't know, maybe he's even a main character, but not from the top, not from the top. He's a very well written character, even though he's purely evil. She is purely evil. She's rather yes, we can say she's even a bitch. uh, Her character is really interesting. It's well written. It's well to see her. She's an apprentice of Count Dooku, and her arc, because there will be many twists in her arc, is really impressive to see And I would want to see an Asajj Ventress, especially in the normal movie with Ahsoka Tano, because Ahsoka is her nemesis, and nemesis of Ahsoka is Asajj Ventress. So it's a good combination when they are both together and they are fighting over something, usually something very serious. And Asajj Ventress calls Ahsoka obnoxious Anakin Skywalker pet, which pisses Ahsoka all the time. But yes, but the Asajj Ventress, I didn't like her for a very long time. But the more episodes I watched with her, I see that she's still a good character, and I would put her in top, even maybe top five best well written characters in the Clone Wars universe, and seven uh, uh, top seven 100%, top five maybe 90% that she's in top five. So let me know in the comments what do you think you, about you, especially Yoda, and about of course Asajj Ventress, how they were written comparing to the other animated movies. Because we have also very similar cartoonish TV show called even very similar, like Clone. I don't even know, something with Clone Wars. When I heard, I didn't watch them. This was the first time Asajj Ventress was created and shown in this very short animated TV series. So let me know what do you think about Asajj Ventress as an apprentice of Count Dooku, and let me know about, of course, about Yoda. Is he not too goofy for this format of character of Jedi Master?